For everyone listening, Waz is wearing a PSG jersey, which is slightly concerning because he claims to be a United fan. So I'm starting to wonder how that's even possible.
This is Rabiot jersey.
It's not Rabiot. It's
Ibrahimovic.
Ibrahimovic.
Respect on Ibra on the back, but the Rabiot comment is justified. And that's perfect segue into the beginning of this episode. Manchester United obviously having a tough opening match against Brighton, 2-1 loss. Waz, what was your initial reaction?
Oh, it was just a very lackluster performance. it was basically more of the same from last season. You kind of went into that game with a little bit of hope and think, oh, maybe things will be different under Ten Hag. And then I think it was the first 17 seconds where Brighton actually almost scored off kickoff. And I'm like, hopefully this doesn't set the tone of the match. But it didn't. And Brighton, honestly, were just a better team. They were the better football team. And like I think Lucas said on Sunday League Pundits, he was like, oh, was Ten Hag managing Brighton? Honestly, that's kind of what we wanted from United, but no, Brighton pressed well, they contained possession and pounced on United's mistakes. United just couldn't do anything, honestly. Like maybe a shot here and there, but it was just the same old United from last season.
What did you think of Eriksen playing striker?
Well, that one was kind of interesting. I didn't mind that too much. I think it was better, obviously, when he dropped back later into midfield later in the match, but you had to get creative with Martial injured and Ronaldo on the bench, and maybe Ronaldo's just not fit right now. So,
but sorry, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was about to say my moment of the game was Ten Hag benching Ronaldo, like the baller.
I swear to God, Ronaldo. There was more retention on Cristiano Ronaldo being on the bench than Manchester United's play
and his facial expressions. The guy kills me. I love it. Go ahead, Liam.
Did you have to get that creative? Like I just don't.
I don't know.
I just don't know if he had to do that. Like it just didn't seem necessary to have to play Eriksen as a striker. Like so apparently Eriksen played striker in Ajax in the youth team, which was like 15 years ago. You have talent on this.
I don't even know what the point of it was very confusing.
And the thing is too, he didn't even play striker.
No, he just dropped back.
He just dropped back immediately.
So
like, Fernandes was the highest.
Bruno
guy,
more like a center forward, kind of a false nine. I don't. Yeah,
it kind of felt like that's what they were trying to do. Like it felt like they were trying to trick Brighton, but in the same sense, they tricked themselves because it was just so unorganized of where guys were, and I just don't know why. Like I get Ronaldo, like all that stuff's been happening. You kind of got to send a message, but like Elanga can play striker. You could probably put Rashford down the middle if you really wanted to.
He used to play striker for a bit.
Exactly. Like, even putting Eriksen on the left probably would have been a better idea than having him right down the middle. And then in the second half, when Ronaldo came on at the weirdest time, why not just sub him at halftime instead of 5 minutes in?
You know when teams are really in the dumps and then managers try and do something special, get really creative, and That's just doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Yeah. It also doesn't make sense that Rabiot right now is the highlight of Manchester United talk.
Yeah, I generally don't know why they're interested or linked with him. Like that's the last midfielder you should be going for.
This is what I mean. It's confusing to what Liam was talking about, and then now when we transition into the Rabiot conversation, I feel like Manchester United is just picking at straws right now and saying a Hail Mary to any type of solution.
Any name.
Any Rabiot of all midfielders. Like the guy.
I don't know what connection he has to the club. Is he friends with someone? Like
so apparently this wasn't as knee-jerk as it seemed. Like this was been in the works for a while, because it's not because they lost that they're getting him, but also bringing him in, like, is that fixing your Fred and McTominay
No,
issue?
not at all.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I think the issue can be fixed by just playing Eriksen a little bit deeper. And I would have Fred in there too. Like I don't mind Fred. At least he works hard.
McTominay, on the other hand, is a Can I swear on this pod?
Absolutely.
Fucking shit. Oh my God. Jesus.
Young Waz growing up right before our eyes. Listen, obviously United failed to sign midfield depth in the summer. Right?
Yes,
De Jong
which
was
I don't
heartbreak.
get at all. Like they've been stuck on De Jong for the past 13 weeks.
But then to think Rabiot is that solution makes no sense. And obviously a guy that was in the past maybe known for his passing. Last season, he averaged 30 passes per game and didn't complete more than 82% of them. It's a scary stat. And he also only completed 2.49 progressive passes, ranking him in the bottom 12% of midfielders in Europe. Like that's scary. Yeah. He's not the solution for United based on those stats. And I know that you can't only use stats to see if a player is going to do well in a different league. But when the guy only has 6 assists for 129 games in Juventus, I mean,
You could
It's
you're put,
worrisome.
and not only his football skills, but the guy's a head case. We know that he's had altercations with Ibrahimovic. We know the situation with his mom as his manager. Is he the solution in Manchester United's locker room?
no.
I mean, is he a solution anywhere on the map?
Not at all.
It's scary.
Not at all.
Even the Austrian striker they were trying to get to,
Arnautovic.
he literally got kicked off of West Ham essentially because guys didn't like him.
I'm so confused.
Stoke didn't like him, and he's played in China for the last 2 seasons. Now he's in Serie A, but it's like, I feel like we've seen this before. Like Falcao came in as that veteran striker.
That was really random.
What was the other guy they got from Watford last year? Gallo. Oh, Gallo.
A couple years ago. He actually came from China.
Yeah, it came from
Yeah.
China as
He
well.
was actually
They
not
must
too
have
bad.
some kind of link there to China. I don't know what they're thinking. But Manchester United, China is not the answer in this situation.
Right.
So the only one that's really worked of the older guys they brought in is, funnily enough, Ibrahimovic. Like out of all of them, I guess you could say Ronaldo too, but I feel like he's not. He's a bit different because he's still really good, and so is Ibrahimovic. But these guys, like, it's just so pointless. Like, what are you building for?
Or was.
He looks so concerned.
Yeah, he's just like,
Wow.
it is. You see you know that that meme where the person's standing there, and there's
Yeah.
like the math equations? That's how I see Waz right now.
I'm just trying to like you're calling out like Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic wasn't bad at the time. Pogba was like okay at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, I
like
agree.
they seem to be pan out fine at first, and then they kind of falter, and then Irish Schweinsteiger.
Oh, Schweinsteiger.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot
what a
about
throwback.
it. Yeah, it's a big one.
I have a Schweinsteiger United actually.
I remember when he went, because that was the same. Was it the same summer as Ibrahimovic or the one after?
It was
They
the
were-
same one,
The
actually.
same one, and there was so much hope around the team. It's like, yeah, but these guys are like 35 years old. Like they're
Yeah.
not young anymore. They're not the world class guys they are. And
Or it might have been the year before, I think.
it was
So,
around
yeah,
in the same
yeah.
era or whatever. I think it was 10, not 10.
It was between Van Gaal and Mourinho.
Yeah, and now I don't know. It's
Well,
just
Rabiot, clearly,
so
I think
funny.
we can all agree that Rabiot doesn't make sense.
No, not at all.
The only thing this makes sense to do is bringing in depth to your team.
That-
As essentially it.
Which then Milinkovic-Savic is another trending topic of conversation for United supporters right now. Does he come in from Lazio? 11 goals, 11 assists.
I
on
don't
the
think
season.
they'll sign him. Would he be a great signing? For sure, but he probably cost them around 80 million, I think.
60 million pounds is what it's rumored to be. Maybe
I'd be-
closer to 70,
be
some
open to it.
reports are saying. But again, better to me, of course, than Rabiot, and there's no disrespect to Rabiot. That's just the situation. I'm more worried about Rabiot from a locker room perspective. I don't know if he's just the right solution overall, but Milinkovic-Savic, this is a guy that has been rumored to join United for a while now, and at least he does impressive work at Lazio. And I mean, you can't really say the same about good old Rabiot.
No.
So I don't know, Waz. You guys, but here's saying this. I'd like to say this. Yesterday I was on a TikTok live and we were talking with all the football fans. To everyone watching from TikTok live, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. I don't think you can look at the first game of a Premier League season or any season for that fact and say this team's going to do horribly and it's going to go to, the shitter. I don't think that is possible. It's game one. Manchester United is dealing with some adversity, to say the least, but it's a long season. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And a lot can happen from game one to the end of the Prem.
Yeah.
And it's not how you start, it's how you finish.